Everybody, Rich Lang down here in the bunker at PrepU. Today we're going to discuss about how to make your basic disaster kit. I've had a lot of people talk to me saying, Rich, what you've got is really great, but it looks like it's years of accumulation. It is. It is years of accumulation. It's stuff from when I used to hunt. It's stuff from Boy Scouts. It's from camping. It's from going to college in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and having stuff that I needed in my car when I would travel. But that will come for all of you that are just starting out. You have a tendency just to keep this stuff around. You might get rid of other stuff, but stuff that's for camping and stuff that you want to keep around that you know that you might need someday is probably scattered out all over your house like we've discussed before, and it's just putting it all together. I have a lot of people that have asked, I just live in an apartment, or a really small house. I've got no place for this. I don't have the money to get into this. And you don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of space. You just need to have the desire to protect yourself if you're by yourself, you and your significant other and your kids and your pets, to take that first step and go out and get a few items. I have a list here. It's just your basic disaster kit, how to start. And then you can build on this. It's very easy to build on it. Look at some of the other videos that we have and how to build on it. We're going to show you, we're very close to the list video. I know I've been promising that for months, which is just going to be lists. And we'll discuss the list. I'm just going to flip them, so you can take a look at the list and go from there and add on. You can also go every place on the internet and find different lists of what you need for a disaster based on where you live, and then you have to make the decision on what you need and what works for you. But this is just your basic kit. This is how to start out. Maybe you're in college and you live in a dorm, or you live in an apartment, or you're new to a certain area and you live in the big city, and you want to make sure that you're safe in case like the power goes off or the water goes down, and you can survive for 3 days with this kit pretty easy. What you add to this, above and beyond what I'm going to say, is totally up to you. Even some of the stuff in here is totally up to you. So let's get started in this. Obviously, the number one thing is water. You can't live without water. You can live without food. You can live without Snickers bars and stuff like that, but I know that's pushing it. But you can't live without water. Fresh, clean water. So what we suggest is 1 gallon of water per day, per person, for at least 3 days. If you do store-bought, if you just go to whatever grocery store and you buy it, look at the date, find the date furthest out. If you just have containers and you're just using tap water, remember, don't keep it around any longer than 6 months. So mark your container. I do that. We have water bottles. We have gallons of water. We have 5-gallon totes for water. And don't forget, you have your hot water heater. You don't need to heat hot water. You have your water heater available to you, which is 40, 60, whatever gallons. So that's always nice to have. Fill your bathtub up too. If you know it's coming. That's if you know it's coming. But we also have gallon jugs that I fill from the tap. What I use that for is have a garage refrigerator, and I like to have nice cold water when I'm outside working. Also clean water for the dogs. So the water in our refillable jugs that we have never really makes it past 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or whatever. So I don't really worry about a date on it. But what I do is I number my jugs, so I'm always in order of taking it out to the garage, into the refrigerator out there. But if you're just going to let it sit there, put a date on it, put a piece of tape on it, because you don't want to keep writing on it, because you got to keep, scratching it off, and then get rid of it after 6 months. Feed your plants. Do something with it. Whatever. It's totally up to you. Food. You want to have a 3-day supply per person for 3 days, and that's totally up to you what you want to have by. Obviously, the thing that they're going to suggest, and people have suggested, is canned and dried food. REI or different places you can get different dried foods that you would go camping with. You can buy it from Philmont at the end of the season, which is a Boy Scout camp. You can get canned meats and canned fruits and canned vegetables, or vegetables, in plastic, and fruits and stuff like that, just to have on hand. Figure out what you need and just store it. And then, and like in another video we said, it's the rotation theory. You have what you have in your house, then you have a backup to that, so you don't, run out of mustard and you're like, oh my gosh, we're out of mustard. I can't have my sandwich without mustard. So you always have an extra mustard. Well, have that extra to the extra, because it doesn't cost you that much, and then you put that down in, an area that's safe, free from water, bugs, anything that could attack it. Your beagle. I've had a lot of beagles in my life. Just have it protected and keep it around the house, and it doesn't really cost you anything. You'll have it close by, and have it. And also, real quick, remember to look on the shelves. If they're stocking properly, the stuff in the front of the shelf will have the earliest expiration date. The stuff in the back will have the latest expiration date. So reach back and grab something from back there. You might get a couple extra months out of it. And don't forget, donate that food to food pantries and shelters, and take care of it that way. First aid kit, we all know what a basic first aid kit. You can buy those anywhere. It's just Band-Aids, it's antiseptic, hand sanitizer, gauze. If you want to go beyond that, you could go with tourniquets and Oleed's modular Band-Aids. I probably just said that wrong. Israeli bandages. You also want to have a really nice pair of scissors on hand. And if you want to go into ointments, burn ointments and stuff like that, that's fine. But we all know what a basic first aid kit is, but we don't always have one, and that's dedicated. That's not for your medicine cabinet. That's not for your car, although you should have another one in your car. This is your dedicated disaster kit, first aid kit that's put off to the side. Please watch the dates on your medicine in there, be it aspirins or Tums or Neosporin or whatever else you're going to use. Watch your dates. Lighting. You want to have a good supply of candles, waterproof matches, butane lighters, flashlights, and lanterns on hand. I always hesitate talking about candles because I was a fireman for so long, and there were many times that we went on fires that were candle related because they put them too close to the window and the breeze blew the shears or the curtains into the candle, or they were unattended, pets knocked them over or whatever, and caused a fire. So you never leave a room where there's a burning candle. You never leave kids in there by themselves, or animals that can get close to them. Put them up high. Going back to food, don't forget your pets. Make sure you got at least 3 days supply of pet food, pet medication, treats and stuff like that. And an extra set of leashes should be in your disaster kit also. A radio is always nice to have on hand, be it battery or hand cranked. If you lose power, make sure that you have one that doesn't have to be plugged in, and it takes batteries. Have extra batteries. Watch your dates on your batteries too. Hand crank, you don't have to worry about that, but change your hands because you don't want one Popeye arm and not the other one. So the radio's on hand. Make sure that it has weather notification on it for emergencies. Solar charger, we all have solar chargers, or bricks. I call them bricks. They're just, stuff that stores power. I see them with the kids at high school all the time. Their phone runs out of power. Boom, they plug it in, and they have power back relatively quickly, just based on how batteries charge in phones, which is a whole nother video we could talk about and how that works. But you want to make sure that those are charged at all time. You want to make sure that you use them so they cycle through, although the batteries nowadays don't really hold a memory like they used to. I'm dating myself. Let's see, a two-way radio. If you've got a big family and you want to keep in touch, it's good to have a two-way radio with multiple channels on it. You also want to have code words for channels, because if you're on a channel and there's a bunch of chatter, or you think people are listening that they shouldn't be, you can use animals or fish names, or colors or flowers or whatever. You say let's go to orchid channel. It's always, and write all this stuff down, because you're going to be stressed out. You're going to want that all written down. Blankets, everybody has blankets, but do you have enough blankets? Where do you live? It's wintertime. What's it like? How hot, how cold out is it? If you don't get good sleep, you are not going to be able to maintain the next day or the day after either. You have to get good sleep. You have to have rest. You have to have water and food. And that's just absolutely necessity. Toolkits. I'm always amazed at how many people don't even have a basic toolkit. And that's just, a hammer and nails and pliers and, screwdrivers, both kinds, standards and Phillips. You might want to have some Allen keys. Some, just stuff that you can repair stuff right away. You should also have duct tape. There's a couple rolls of duct tape on hand. Plastic sheeting in case windows get broken and you want to keep the weather out. It's always nice to have. It doesn't take that much room. This list right here does not take that much room at all. I mean, that's your basic, just your basic kit. Think about what you need. What extra stuff you need. Medication. Do you have any special needs? You need oxygen. What do you need? Have extra supply of all that stuff on hand. It doesn't cost you that much to do it. And it's kind of fun putting it all together, although maybe your significant other will say you're crazy until you kind of explain to them about that. Ladies, make sure you have supplies. Your schedule. So please have extra supplies of that on hand because maybe you won't be able to go out and get what you need. Diapers, the same thing. If you got babies, make sure you have plenty of diapers on hand, lotions, and whatever that you might need. So that's it. I mean, just think. It's just using your brain to put together a kit that is a dedicated kit that you don't use for anything else. And if you do use it, you replace it right away. Okay, that's why I say it's not what's in your refrigerator. It's not what's in your pantry. It's what's in your disaster kit. All right, and then you rotate it. Always rotate it. So, but I hope you like this video. Hope to help you a little bit for those of you that have never really got into disaster preparedness. I hope this will help. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We got 120 subscribers. I'm actually shocked. I thank you all. I really appreciate that. If you like the video, please like it. If you have any comments on this video, please comment. I get a lot of comments. It's kind of fun writing y'all back to some of your questions and stuff. But for now, as we always say, be aware of your surroundings, because if you're not aware of your surroundings, you're going to get sucked in by them, and that's not what you want to have. You also want to remember is your surroundings are not just what's around you, it's what's going on around in the world, and it's weather coming in. We all know we have plenty of ways to find out about the weather, and that's where most of the disasters are going to come from, is weather related. So, as we say, be prepared also up to 72 hours to be on your own without any assistance from neighbors or friends or the government, and prep like your life depends on it, because we all know that it really does. Thank you.